welcome to Broken Entertainment. And today we're going to talk about how Funko Pop just ensured that their Gina Carano Cara Dune figure is going to be worth a whole buttload of money. um, and it's getting, at first I was thinking this is getting kind of weird. Okay, all these Gina Carano action figures, Cara Dune action figures are getting canceled. And some of that, has cost them a lot of money. Funko Pop may have already gotten their money back on these. But some of them are being canceled before they hit shelves. And they've already been developed. They've already had the time put into them. Some of them may have already been produced to some effect. And Disney is basically just getting these companies to shut it down. And it's crazy until you really think about it. And Disney is so... They're not mad. That's not the right word. Disney wants Gina Carano to be an example. And it wants everybody to fall in line. Now, if you're on their side and you're saying things that are horrible, that's fine. That's in line as far as they're concerned. But if you're one of those people that works for them that maybe thinks a little bit like Gina Carano, or maybe not enough like some of the other people there, they want you to shut up and be quiet. And they are showing you the extent they're willing to go. We're willing to cost ourselves money, cost other companies money. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney's quietly paying some of these companies behind the scenes. Like, hey, how much did it cost you to develop that? Yeah, okay, here's the money. Shut it down. Because it's too convenient that every single company making a Cara Dune action figure decides at roughly the same time, oh yeah, we're going to scrap those plans. We've already, designed the figure and spent all the money on it, but we're going to scrap those plans. Total coincidence, I'm sure. It's very interesting that it's happening and that they really decided to make her this example. And it's unfortunate too, because we all want to like Disney. There's this kind of inherent, Disney's supposed to be one of the good guys. But you see them doing stuff like this and all the other things that they do, and you're like, how? Why? But you gotta remember, they're all ideologues. All the people at the top are ideologues. So they're willing to shoot themselves in the foot to make a point. And they can't have somebody like Gina Carano. They can't. They can't have somebody speaking out against what they want to do, because that would show that the company isn't a monolith. And it would get the wrong ideas out there. See? But let's take a look at the article. And, you got to remember, this one was in production for a while and was selling. People went to buy more of them because all the other toys were getting canceled, and now all of a sudden it's shut down. No announcement from Funko Pop that I've seen, but all of a sudden it's shut down. Total coincidence. So the article, this is on Bounding into Comics. The unpersoning of Gina Carano continues. Funko has reportedly ended the production of their pop vinyl figure based on the actress's Star Wars The Mandalorian character, Cara Dune. And here's the other thing, is Disney is ensuring that you have to intrinsically tie the actor or the actress to the character now. Anything the actor and the actress does is something the character does, essentially, because Cara Dune is not Gina Carano. Gina Carano plays Cara Dune, but Cara Dune is a fictional character. There's no reason to cancel any of these action figures other than out of spite and to make an example of somebody, because they're not sold as Gina Carano figures, they're sold as Cara Dune figures. And you have this immensely popular character on your show, and you're like, well, we're not going to sell the action figures of this character. Are you out of your mind? They said something we don't like. Oh boy. On March 12th, popular Funko Pop news source Dispops shared an email to their Instagram account allegedly received by a customer attempting to pre-order a Cara Dune Pop vinyl figure 327 from Entertainment Earth's upcoming restock, in which the online retailer announced that the first Cara Dune Pop has been discontinued by Funko. In the email, I want to stop for a second. So they're the last bastion of Cara Dune action figures, essentially. And you know they got to be making money, right? Because people keep going out looking for Cara Dune stuff, and all of a sudden they can't find it. And the more Disney pushes, the more people want Cara Dune stuff. So you know these Funko Pops are being picked up, and then now they're just gone because Funko Pop said so. But why would they cancel something that's making a bunch of money? Because Disney came in and they said, hey, cancel that. And I'm sure there were no threats involved. There was definitely no money involved. And Disney probably, I'm sure, if you ask Disney, they never went and talked to him. It's just everybody has this intrinsic understanding of the good of society. And so they went out on their own accord because they're so wonderful people, and they canceled all these Gina Carano things because Gina Carano is the devil. Right. Total coincidence that every single company making Cara Dune action figures just stopped. In the email, Entertainment Earth explained, unfortunately, we're sorry to report that the manufacturer has notified us we will not be receiving any additional shipments of the Star Wars The Mandalorian Cara Dune Pop vinyl figure that you ordered because they have discontinued production. No additional information was provided to us by the manufacturer as to why this occurred. Entertainment Earth unsurprisingly concluded, sadly, this means we will not be able to ship it to you and have canceled it from your order. And then here's a shot of that email. Funko's cancellation of Carano's Pop vinyl figure follows in the footsteps of similar decision made by Hasbro. Near immediately after the actress was unceremoniously and underhandedly fired by Disney and Lucasfilm earlier this year for sharing an Instagram post, yada yada yada, we all know what happened, ended their production of their Black Series and Vintage Collection figures based on Cara Dune. Now, this is an anecdote, so take it for that, but every time I've gone to Target, Walmart, what have you, that carries these toys, there are Star Wars Black Series figures everywhere, and they're not selling. Because the ones that are selling are gone. Okay? And by that, I mean, like, I managed to grab an Ahsoka Tano one back in the day when it was out. One of the earlier ones. But, like, every Ahsoka Tano, the rest of the Ahsoka Tano rack was empty, right? Every time Ahsoka Tano comes out, every time Luke Skywalker comes out, you can't find them. They're gone. They show up, and then they're gone. But all these other characters left laying around. It was really funny. I was walking through Target the other day and looking at the toy aisles because I have a small child. And I'm like, wow. There's the only Star Wars Black Series you could find were Jar Jar Binks. And there was like 6 or 7 of them. And I'm like, yeah, and that's kind of where these other characters fall in, right? They weren't out of stock. They just weren't there. And Cara Dune would have sold very well. Very popular character. But nope, they canceled it. Poof. We'll just have more Jar Jar Binks figures sitting around. Or Rose Tico. Oh my god, there's so many Rose Ticos. Toy companies aren't the only ones bowing to public and assumedly corporate Disney pressure regarding Chrono. See, I've heard no public pressure aside from the Twitter weirdos, so this has got to be, and especially with how quickly it happened, this is a Disney thing. Disney's telling these companies to do this. Just days ago, as pointed out by Carano herself, Twitter appeared to manipulate the likes on a tweet linking to a poll which found that respondents overwhelmingly both supported the actress and opposed Disney's newfound focus on critical social justice and race theory-based politics. If Twitter is actually manipulating likes, I just want to point this out. If people out there are thinking it's okay for these big tech companies to shut down alternatives, you might want to think again. Because if they can manipulate likes, they can manipulate everything else. And if they're willing to manipulate likes, they're willing to manipulate everything else. You can't trust Twitter. Not that you could anyway, but just saying. On tweet linking to a poll, I'm curious about this article. Actually. See, fans have pointed out, blah, blah, blah. Man, this article just goes on and on, doesn't it? That's one of the things I don't like about pounding into comics articles. Sometimes they just kind of keep going. It's like, yeah, we know. Okay, so here's a screenshot she took. What am I seeing here? Clearly see that post have been like a total of 2,738 times as of 3:48. Not even 20 minutes later, at 4:05, the number of likes had significantly decreased to 467. That's kind of weird. Well, that's a whole separate thing, but keep that in mind when you interact with Twitter. With this move, assuming that Funko's decision to discontinue the character's first figure extends to her second one, there officially remain no Cara Dune. Oh, it will absolutely extend to the second one. Figures in production. In fact, according to a cursory search of online shopping outlets, the only pieces of official merchandise featuring Cara Dune that are currently available to purchase are limited to nothing more than a handful of assorted shirts. Yep. So, they're making an example of her. And it's weird because it's weird and it's a bad idea. Because all it's doing is pushing people farther away from Disney Star Wars. But the other thing it's doing is intrinsically linking actors and actresses to their characters so that if an actor does something you don't like, then you can't like the character now. You know, there are plenty of characters played by people that I can't stand, but I don't care because I like the character. You know, unless that person is like a murderer or something, you know, something extreme. But now Disney is essentially saying, look, this person said something bad, so we're completely destroying everything related to the character. And you know this character is going to disappear from the show. I don't think they're going to recast her. I think she's just going to quietly cease to exist, and they'll never reference her again. But it's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate and it's hypocritical. We've seen plenty of Disney people go off the rails and say stupid crap about people, calling fans horrible names. But the only thing that matters to them is that you fall in line. And Gina Carano is an example now. It was one thing to fire her. Now they've taken it to the next level. And they're getting rid of her as a character. They're completely wiping out the merchandise, so you can't go out and buy something. Partially to spite the fans that are mad, and partially to get rid of Gina Carano entirely. Just, no, she never existed. Cara Dune never existed. Please don't look at the man behind the curtain. But, I'm not surprised. I don't think any of us are. This is Disney we're talking about. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you next time.